Welcome back to Bully Ball, a 49er podcast. Today we have our pregame primer. The San Francisco 49ers are playing the Houston Texans in Texas at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in. We're live. We're going to be talking about what to watch for in the game, the players on the verge of making the 53-man roster, who needs to perform well tonight, and who is not playing in the game. So tune in. I'm going to drop the link in the chat in a little bit. So if anybody wants to hop on, say a couple words prior to the game starting, let's dive right in.
Tony Montana, Tony Montana, Tony Montana, check up on my ear. Tony Montana, Tony Montana, Tony Montana, I'm about to cut the...
All right, so we have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Houston Texans tonight. As Kyle Shanahan said earlier in the week, we are going to be seeing a lot of the starters playing, but not everyone is going to be playing. So let me pull up the list for you real quick and tell you which players on the team are not going to be playing tonight. So we have, obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo, Elijah Mitchell, Daniel Brunskill, Mike McGlinchey, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, Azeez Al-Shaair, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Eman Mosley, Ambry Thomas, Charvarius Ward, Jimmy Ward, and Dante Johnson. So, there is a lot of starters not playing today, but there is going to be a bunch of them that are. So, some players that you expect not to play, like obviously Bosa hasn't played any games in the preseason. He doesn't really need to. And a lot of them are really due to injury, to be honest with you. Elijah Mitchell, Brunskill, McGlinchey, those dudes are all injured. Eric Armstead was back at practice this week, so that's a good sign. Little interesting seeing Javon Kinlaw not playing in this game. He's played extensively over the first two games. So maybe, they've seen enough. They've seen him lock in that starting D-tackle job, and he's getting a rest week, prior to the season. Azeez Al-Shaair, he was recovering from an injury he had in the offseason. Fred Warner, obviously not going to play in this game. Dre Greenlaw, I believe, I don't know. I haven't heard much about him. I knew he was recovering from an injury, but like the 49ers kind of kept it under wraps. And then obviously you have a bunch of 49er DBs that are out with injury. Eman Mosley, I believe he was back at practice this week, and he was actually performing well. Good to hold him out of this game. Ambry Thomas dealing with a knee injury, and it's getting close to the wire. Cut downs are coming following this game, so we'll see if Ambry can make this roster. There's a lot of backup corners on this team that are vying for that spot. Obviously, you have Demo Lenore, who probably to me is locked in that number 3 spot. Kadar Holman has looked really good in man coverage, and a lot of people like him. You got a lot of young guys. Tariq Castro Fields, who some people are high on, some aren't, playing out there. And then you have I believe it's Ken Crawley, who the 49ers brought in with all these injuries. So we'll see what happens with Ambry Thomas. Hopefully he could get healthy and have an impact on this team, but we'll see. We'll see if he makes a roster. If you're in here, drop a comment on which backup corners you think are going to make the roster. And then we have Charvarius Ward. He's supposed to be back at practice next week following this game. That's a good sign. Even though the 49ers opened with the Bears, you do want to see the team at full force and ready to go. They still got to get the continuity of all the starters playing in a game. So you want to see them all back by week 1. Jimmy Ward, supposed to miss week 1, but you never know how he's going to be healing from this injury. we hope he's back by week 1 because George Odom has showed some signs that he could play, but at the same time, Jimmy Ward, as you saw, he was top 100 player last year, so obviously you don't want him off of the field. And then we have Dante Johnson, who got hurt. I believe it was in the first preseason game, hurt his ribs. So those are your players not playing in the game. So now let's talk about some players that are playing in the game and are probably going to be seeing their first action of the preseason. So you have at wide receiver, you have Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. Um, Obviously, those are your two guys at receiver, and this is a very critical moment to get them on field live action reps with Trey Lance. Obviously, we know Brandon Ayuk and Trey Lance have that connection, but you would like to see that connection with Deebo Samuel start to form in this game. And also, if you think back to last season, Deebo Samuel, um, he was the one that caught that bomb from Trey Lance in the Houston game. So love to see something like that today. And then we have Jeff Wilson Jr. starting at running back today. And I personally am very excited to see Jeff Wilson Jr. start at running back today because last season, didn't look that explosive, didn't feel like he was running his hardest. And they said, hey, he was recovering from the injury. He isn't back. And obviously that injury, he got injured standing up like in the locker room prior to in a preseason game or something. Some crazy injury. And now they're saying he's back. He looks like himself. He's explosive. So if Elijah Mitchell isn't ready to go week 1, you want to see what Jeff Wilson is bringing to the table and if he can be that running back 1 in week 1. So that is one player I'm really excited to see today. And yes, those connections are key. Jawan Jennings, hope to see something from him today. He's at a tough camp, but he can always close it out strong. Same with Ray McLeod. He's at a pretty good camp. You want to see what kind of connection he has with Trey Lance. So we'll see. And then some of our other running backs, Trey Sermon is the guy that I was preaching about all off season. I said, hey, I think this dude's going to show out. He was training very hard in the off season. You saw the videos, him doing those Alvin Kamara-like workouts. He was training with Dalvin Cook and Devin Singletary, looked explosive. So I thought I really, really thought he might be, if not the guy, the second guy this season at running back for the 49ers. But obviously, if you've been watching, that hasn't been the case so far. He has got, a majority of the starting reps with all the other running backs not playing, but I haven't really liked what I've seen so far. And I feel like he is on, the edge. He's on the back end of that 53. Is it going to be him? Is it going to be Hasty? Or is it going to be Jordan Mason? Some people think Trey Sermon, they're going to give him another year. Some people think, hey, it's time to go. Jordan Mason looks like the guy that's going to be the sneaky running back on the roster this year. And then some people think it's going to be JaMycal Hasty. JaMycal Hasty is the guy that can do it all, run, he can catch, he can pass block. He's just he's not like a game changer in any way, if that makes sense. He's not too explosive. He has some speed, but he's not like, I don't know. He's just an interesting, like, overall well-rounded back. But when I'm thinking about my last back on the roster, I'm thinking about a guy that does one thing really well. And that guy to me would be Jordan Mason. The dude, power back, runs hard. And he does that probably better than most of the running backs on the roster right now. And I'm not saying like running people over kind of like a TDP, but I'm saying like he just gets the ball and he gets upfield. It's kind of reminiscent of how Raheem Mostert ran. He has that speed where he would get the ball and he would just jet through the hole. But so that's going to be a great, great battle to see play out today. Who's going to get the usage? Jordan Mason hasn't got many reps in these games. We feel like they're hiding him. But if he gets cut, if any of those running backs get cut, they're probably going to be picked up pretty quick by another team. And then obviously the star of the show today is going to be Trey Lance. I think he's probably going to get maybe 3-4 series. I don't think he's actually going to play the whole first half of the game unless, they have super long drives like they used to last year. But I think you might get 3 or 4 drives. Obviously, he's playing without his starting tackles, and the backups haven't looked crazy good. So you don't want to risk that, at least in my opinion. And then you also have the backup QB competition that has to play out still. Obviously, we all think Nate Sudfeld is going to win the job, but I have really liked what I saw from Brock Purdy so far. And we still got to see how that's going to play out. So Trey Lance, I'm expecting 3, maybe 4 drives. And he's probably going to throw the ball maybe, I'm going to guess 8 to 10 times. Probably going to be a lot of run plays, maybe a lot of short, like screen passes behind the line of scrimmage, stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting from Trey Lance today. And then obviously on the offensive line, we need to see who's going to solidify those tackle spots. We have Evilzilla here. How you watch it. I believe this game is going to be on Amazon Prime. And I think that's the only way you can watch it unless you're going to stream it online, obviously. I used to stream, but, it was just too inconsistent. So I started during the season, I'd actually get the ticket. But I believe I've seen people comment saying like Dofu Sports app or something is a good place to watch. But yeah. And let's see here. Yeah, definitely look into it. Because obviously not everyone has Amazon Prime, so it's kind of one of those things that sucks a little bit. I know some people stream it on like Instagram and stuff like that, so you might be able to find it on there. But yes, back to the O-line. So we want to see who can be those backup tackles. Jordan Mills, I thought was a guy that was going to step up, take a job, and he kind of looked down last week. Justin School hasn't looked very well this offseason, obviously in these games either. So, we got to see how that's going to play out. And then interior, obviously we have Jason Poe, who's been getting a lot of hype this past week. We had him on our channel for an interview prior to the draft. Great guy, humble, love to see him succeed. And I hope he gets some first team reps today. That would be awesome. And obviously ahead of him, you have Aaron Banks, Spencer Burford on the other side. We just need these guys to keep getting reps because the only way they're going to get better is to get the reps, go through the bumps and the bruises and get better on the field. And then obviously at center, Jake Brendel. I just need to see more of him. We haven't seen much of Jake Brendel. And everyone behind him does not look so good right now. I think it was Keaton Sutherland. Donovan West looked decent as his backup, but I really want to see what Jake Brendel can do today. And then we'll go ahead and jump to the defensive side. Obviously, we know the 49ers have a bunch of great pass rushers. And an exciting one that is playing today is Samson Ebukam. He hasn't played in either of the other 2 preseason games, and he is going to be starting opposite Nick Bosa week 1. So it's going to be great to see him get reps today. Um, and then obviously you have your other guys, Charles Omenihu, Jordan Willis. We'd like to see some Kerry Hyder. Is Kerry Hyder going to make the team? He's kind of on the verge of, right at the edge of the 53-man roster. Drop a comment. Let me know who you guys think is going to make the roster as, the backup DNs behind Bosa, Ebukam. Obviously, Drake Jackson's going to make it. He's looked great. Very, very great this preseason, if you ask me. Some people like Kamoko Toure. I'd like to see a little more pass rush skill set from him, but he is very good against the run, so that's a good sign. Let's see, all preseason games free on Amazon. Oh, that's great. I'm glad Amazon's doing that because I know they did acquire like all of the Thursday night games this year. I know they had most of them last year, and I know they paid like $5 billion so they could have like exclusive rights over Thursday night games. So I'm glad they're at least doing the preseason games free. That's nice. And then obviously we don't have Kinlaw playing today. So without Kinlaw, we're going to see more Hassan Ridgeway, who I thought showed some encouraging signs last week. Kevin Givens, been on the roster a couple years. You'd like to see some more from him today. And then at linebacker, all of the 49ers starting linebackers are not playing today. So we're going to be seeing more Oren Burks, Flanagan Foles, and McCrary Ball, the three guys. And they've all looked decent. So obviously we think Oren Burks is going to make the roster because of how they paid him in free agency. But McCrary Ball and Flanagan Fowles, both look like guys that could make the roster. It'll be interesting to see if they go with the young guy or the guy they've been developing for a couple years. As we know, the 49ers have traded away a linebacker the past 2 seasons for a late round pick. So it'll be interesting to see which one of those guys, doesn't make it, if one gets traded, how that's going to play out. Because another thing that happened was after the last cut downs, the 49ers released 2 players. Jeremiah Gemmel, the linebacker, instantly got picked up by a team. I believe it was the Broncos. And then they released one other person. Tanner Hudson, the tight end, who looked very, very good this offseason to me. And he instantly got picked up as well. So, a lot of these players that don't make the roster are going to get picked up by other teams. So I'd like to see, are the 49ers going to work the phones, try to trade some of these players before cut down day? And obviously, these players are going to play somewhere else if they do, in fact, get cut. DBs today, it's going to be kind of like last week, just rotating people in. Like to see Demo Lenore play outside today, some Sam Womack inside, and then, the rest of them just competing to be depth at this point. Really, really interested in Kadar Holman, though. He's looked very decent to me this preseason. He obviously got beat on a touchdown in the first game, but he's played aggressive man coverage, and I think that's something the 49ers could use on the team. And then at safety, obviously, you don't have Jimmy Ward. So Hufanga probably going to get some reps today, and it'll be interesting to see who's starting opposite of him to start the game. Is it going to be George Odom, or is it going to be Tavarius Moore? I think that'll tell us a lot. And I expect both of those two to get a lot of playing time today to see who will start week 1 opposite of Hufanga. So yeah, that's what's going on today. Those are the players to look forward to. And it's the last preseason game. Enjoy it, because after this week, we have a week off before the first regular season game. So This is the last 49er football game you'll see until I believe it is September 4th. No, that's the week off. Actually, yeah. I believe it's September 11th, 49ers first game. So that's pretty much 2.5 weeks until we're going to see 49er football again. So if anybody would like to come on live now, I'll be on like 20 more minutes prior to the game. Just let me know. I'll drop the link in the chat and we can talk some football. What are you looking forward to in the game today? What are you looking to see? Are you expecting to see Debo play some running back today? Are you expecting him to play a lot? Who are you expecting to make the roster that may be on the edge, right on the back end? Maybe they make it, maybe they don't. Come on and let's talk some 49er football. And also, if you're here live with us, I just want to say thank you. We're currently at 90 subscribers. Our goal is to hit 100 subscribers prior to the first game on September 11th. And that's been our goal. That's been our goal the whole off season. We've been grinding, dropping videos. We've got some great interviews on the channel. Go watch with Jason Poe. He's currently your backup left guard, and he's competing to start at left guard, undrafted free agent. We have a great interview with him. We have a great interview with Randy Cross, 3-time Super Bowl champ for the 49ers. And, he gave some really, really good insight to those golden days as a 49er fan. So if you haven't watched that one, that's a great video to watch. Riddy Music, new subscriber, Niners, let's go. Thank you for subscribing. And we hope you stay tuned because we got some good stuff coming out. Also, we have another interview that we did drop with Terrell Brown. He was a cornerback for the 49ers in the early 2010s. He was a very, very underrated player. I'll go ahead and drop the link. I dropped the link. But yeah, Terrell Brown he played on that great defense with Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Deshaun Goldson, Dante Whitner, and he was very, very underrated. He had some great seasons for the 49ers. And he did a great interview with us. He broke down those seasons. He broke down the quarterback situation with Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith. And as we know, we just recently went through that with Jimmy G and Trey Lance. So it was great to hear about the Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick situation. Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
How's it going?
Good.
Looks like we got Marcus in the chat watching the live stream. How's it going? Marcus? And we got Randy Cross was the man, legend, definitely. Great interview with him, He gave insights playing in the snow and, I believe it was in Detroit back in the day and just how cold it was. Like he gave some crazy, crazy good stuff. So what are you guys looking forward to today in the game?
Like you said, I want to see Jeff. I want to see how he does in there, see if he looks like his old self. I want to see the backup quarterbacks going at it. There's a bunch of little things, all the other players just keep an eye out, but make sure everybody stays healthy.
Definitely. So you said Jeff Wilson, and all offseason we've kind of said on this channel, we've been like, I don't think Jeff Wilson's going to make the roster because they got, Trey Sermon, Price, Mitchell. But from what the team has said, he looks like he's probably the starting back heading into week 1 if Elijah Mitchell doesn't play. So hopefully he's back to like that. What was it, 2020 season
Yep.
where he was just going off.
And he could be. The boy has some skill. You know what I mean? He could come out tough. Let's put it together. This is a year we need to come out and do it.
Yep. And what are you expecting from Trey Lance today?
I think he's going to come out and look pretty good. I'm more excited for the first game when he comes out because I want to see him with Debo, with all the receivers, Kittle. All the players are going to make a difference. That's going to really help him out. But I want to see some good passes and some tight spots. I don't want to see him running too crazy, and let him play. And if he makes a mistake, bounce back. Don't sit there. You got to have the short memory.
That is interesting since you said that. The one person I did forget to mention is George Kittle is playing as well. So the 49ers will have, for the first time, live action this season, George Kittle, Trey Lance, Brandon Ayuk, and Debo Samuel on the field all at one time. So
Yep.
it'll be interesting to see how he uses the weapons at his disposal today.
Yeah. And that goes on Shanny too. Shanny's got to call the plays.
Definitely. Show us the shirt.
Here.
The Bully Ball guest shirt, Been a guest host a couple times. It's our dad on the channel. So we had to send him out the Bully Ball guest shirt.
I love it. Hey, and I seen you guys are almost at 100.
Yep, we're getting close. We've been dropping a ton of YouTube reels. We have some great short videos on the channel. We have some great videos, breaking down the best games of the Kyle Shanahan era and all the things like that. So if you're here, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell.
Definitely.
Are you going to tell me you're getting the helmet ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to start getting the helmet ready, too. So when you guys are ready, it'll be ready.
Yes, so our dad, he used to paint cars. And so he's going to be painting it's a mini helmet, isn't it?
No, it's a full helmet.
Oh, he's painting a full-size helmet, a full-size Bully Ball helmet for us to give away on this channel. I don't know if we're gonna do it at 100 subscribers.
Yeah, no, you can do it when you're ready.
Yeah, and probably not 100, but maybe 1,000 or 500. Who knows?
Because it'll be worth it.
We'll post it, on our Instagram and on our Twitter, which we have down below. You can see those. So make sure you're subscribed because that's gonna be coming soon. And tune in, like, subscribe. We got our cousin Marcus is going to have to miss the game because he has football practice. Maybe Marcus, one day you'll be playing for the 49ers. So it's good to go to practice.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yep. So what are you expecting stat line wise from Trey Lance today?
I think he's going to do pretty good, to be honest with you. I know they said he had a bad practice the other day.
Yeah, 3 interceptions, I believe it was.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be all right, and put it this way. We have a good-ass defense, so that's even going to make him better. How long are they saying he's going to play? First quarter?
Some people have been saying, the whole first half. I think Shanahan said yesterday a couple series, but it could be up to the whole first half.
Okay, so if he does, I think I'm just going to keep rounded out big. I'm just going to say he's going to do better than he is worse. He's going to come out. He's going to be okay. He's going to have some good completions, some tight passes in there. He's going to run for a few yards, but hopefully they don't run him too much. We need to keep working. Our line needs to keep working. We need our boy Poe up in there. Poe's been looking good, and you guys were the first ones to break out Poe before he was even a 49er. So people got to look and realize that. You guys were calling stuff out before it even happened.
Yeah, I believe we had mentioned I believe in our interview with Poe, we mentioned playing next to Trent Williams and what that would be like. So, it's crazy how that all worked out.
Definitely.
And the dude works so hard. He was grinding every day, getting ready for the draft. You love to see the undrafted guys that make the team. The 49ers are probably the best team in the NFL at finding that late round, but specifically undrafted talent.
For sure. They know where to find them and where to pick them right there.
Yeah, they've been doing it ever since this new Shanahan era started. Kendrick Bourne, Matt Breida. Last year you had somebody, can't think of him off the top of my head. But then this year you have Poe and Mason. So, they just keep hitting on these undrafted guys. It's nuts.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I got to run. So I could get to my spot where I'm going to watch the game.
Sounds good. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks for having me. Bully Balls #1.
Yep. See you. All right. So it looks like we have about 25 minutes until the game kicks off. So, if you're here, thanks for tuning in. If anybody wants to hop on, I'll give you a couple minutes, hop on, say what you want to say, before the game starts. We're Bully Ball 49er channel. And I'll go ahead, and if you've been on this channel before, we give you our bully ball player of the week, our bully of the week. And let's see, I'll try to give you guys a guess of who the bully of the week is going to be this week. Tough one. If I go O-line, probably say Poe or Burford. They be pancaking people every game. Ty Davis Price be having an angry run every week. He be running people over. I believe week 1 we had Hufanga light the dude up, so it could be, who's it going to be this week? Drop a comment of who the bully of the week is probably going to be in the game this week. And I'll try to think of who I think it's going to be. You know what? I'll say bully of the week, Samsung Ebukam. I don't know if he's going to play a lot or at all, but he's active. So I'll say Samsung Ebukam going to be the bully of the week. 2 sacks. He's going to blow the quarterback up. That's who I'm going to say is going to be the bully of the week this week. Who do you think it's going to be? That's the thing. That's why we name this podcast Bully Ball, because the 49ers, obviously, they just bully everybody on the field. They're the most physical team in the NFL by far every single season. And, everybody's out there. They're just trying to out physical every single player on the team. And that's evident when you have guys like Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Trey Lance now, big physical running back. Trent Williams, you saw him every week throwing somebody last season. And that's on offense. I'm not even talking about the defense right now. It's just insane. The physical style of play that this team plays with. Poe, Poe will always have an opportunity to be bully of the week, because he just, every single play, he's looking to lay somebody out when he's run blocking. So you can never go wrong picking Poe. Yeah, so that's all I got for this pregame primer. 49ers versus Texans. Don't worry about the score, of the game. Just watch the game, see how the starters look. And, we hope for no injuries. If you tuned in, thank you. This is Bully Ball, a 49er podcast. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers prior to the first game of the season on 9/11. We're almost there. Help us get there. So thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you guys on Sunday with our wrap up and our recap of the game and what to look forward to moving forward. See you next time.